Let me know when. All right. Good evening, everyone. Today is October 25th. This is our October meeting of the Library Board. I will call the meeting to order. Angie, can we have a call of the roll, please?
Yes, Ms. Payne.
Here.
Reverend Robinson.
Here.
Judge Salinas.
Here.
And Ms. Tribble.
Here.
We do have a
We
quorum.
do have a quorum. We have 3 board members that couldn't make it. One may join us remotely through as the meeting progresses. So the chair does recognize the quorum. We will move on to public comment. At every library board meeting, we open with a time for public comment. We welcome the feedback from the library about the Indianapolis libraries. And at this time, when the public may address the library board, if there are several of you representing the same group, please select a spokesperson. Please do not repeat the same comments someone else has offered. Please note that also that this public comment time is not an appropriate forum for commenting on matters related to allegations, alleged employee misconduct. Any such matters should be brought promptly to the attention of the library's interim CEO or the HR department, where matters can be promptly addressed in compliance with established library policies and procedures. A 5-minute time limit will be allowed for each speaker. Each speaker should give their name and their address. And we have a couple old friends of mine, Liliana Hamlick and Jose Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're very happy to be here. And we wanted to present the Indianapolis Public Library with a certificate. Before I do so, I wanted to share a few words. We feel very indebted and very happy and humbled to be part of the Indianapolis Public Library. They've supported us. We've been in business now. We're a Spanish-English newspaper. We've been in business for 21 years. As of today, I'm very proud and happy to say that we just completed our 542nd edition. So there's never been a stop. Every 2 weeks we print. I joke about that. When I started with the newspaper, I had black hair. At least I have hair still, so that's good. And my wife is the one who started the newspaper. She's the one that made it all happen, brought down a lot of barriers. And as a result, I came on board 2 years after the fact. And so we're married, happily married, still married. Yeah. And so we're dynamic duo, and that's what we do. We do a lot for the community. We feel that is part of our job. The paper has allowed us to do a lot of beautiful things for the community overall. But it's very important to note that we would not be here today and boasting about our 542 editions that we printed if it weren't for all the help and support that we received from people like you. And the newspaper would not be half of what it is, or may not even be around if it weren't for the support that we received from everyone. Just recently, the library was gracious enough to input each one of our editions, each 542 editions. They uploaded those onto the web, all on microfilm. They also took and gathered each edition so that the library has a copy of each edition on file. And to us, that means the world, because we're a small company. We've survived a recession and a pandemic, knock on wood. And again, there's no way that we would have been able to get to where we are today if it weren't for the support that we received from our partners, such as the Indianapolis Public Library. So with that being said, I will read the award and I will present it to you guys. It says, Excellence Award in appreciation and recognition of your ongoing commitment to excellence. La Voz Indiana presents the Indianapolis Public Library in deep appreciation for all your hard work, dedication, help, and support with our newspaper. And so we did recently a luncheon for the library, and we were overwhelmed to see how many people it took, all the people that were involved in the project. So to you guys, we say thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. And if we can do anything for you guys, just let us know.
Jose, Liliana, muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Igualmente.
I've known Liliana since 1998. She reminded me. So thank you so much for all the work you're doing.
Thank you guys very much. It means a lot to us. Who would like to set the stage? Put it right up here. Okay. Thank you for allowing us the time to share with you guys.
Muchas gracias.
Out of your busy schedules. It's a pleasure to meet everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Liliana. Jose, gracias.
Thank you.
All right, we will move. That's all the speakers we had. We do have, Angie, do we have any comment or letters or they need to be read into the record?
Yes, so we do. We have one from Craig Loschke. His comment, 18 computers, study rooms, fireplace, view of the woods, very spacious. Congratulations to the library staff. I think we've determined that's the West Perry branch he's commenting on. That's really nice. We have another one from Robert Walson. And Mr. Walson is commenting, please consider giving or loaning books for children to the Exodus Refugee Immigration Project at Camp Atterbury, Indiana, via the Indiana National Guard Team Rubicon. And he gives a phone number to provide children's books or comic books to teach Afghan immigrant children to read English and to help their parents to learn English as a second language. Check the website. He gives the website for more information and details. Thank you for your consideration of these possibilities.
And for the board's information, I pass that on to our outreach manager, and she's going to connect with them, and we're gonna work with them.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, then we have one more. It's a letter. And this is from Patty and Tom Hefner. It says to the members of the Indianapolis Public Library Board. Since we began keeping track sometime in the 1990s, we have given anonymous gifts to the Indianapolis-Marion County Public Library Foundation, totaling just over $750,000. These gifts represent our annual support and special gifts for branches located within Center Township and the inner city, a key effort of the library system in which we are particularly interested. Patty served on the Library Foundation Board from 2002 to 2005, and we stay informed about the library's plans and programs. We have felt the best leadership the library system has enjoyed by far in the years we have supported it has been Jackie Needus. Jackie's service as CFO and CEO has ushered in remarkable improvements in the system and the library's connectedness to the community in general. Jackie's grasp of her changing field, her understanding of public finance, her wide network within the community, and her genuine joy in serving the community through the library increased the integration and impact the system has had in Indianapolis. The fact that as a library board, you withdrew your support of her because of the first, though we recognize important, bump in the road is beyond our comprehension. As stated in the library strategic plan you approved on February 22nd, 2021, the first value of the organization is racial equity, leading with race by being race explicit, not race exclusive. The library's management has been working on diversity and inclusion issues for quite some time. In the letter Jackie wrote July 23rd to the library community, she laid out an impressive plan that had been started and would take place in the weeks ahead to address issues of race and inclusion within the library system. It is not a topic she ignored. However, one past employee's testimony at your May board meeting set into motion a process of blame assigning, which resulted in the withdrawal of your support. You incorrectly left your role of visioning and goal setting and got involved in management matters to the harm of the organization. We have lost all confidence in this board's ability to lead and make decisions on behalf of the taxpayers of this community. To let one of the best servant leaders currently working in Indianapolis walk away from her position so that the institution would not suffer more damage is unconscionable. We do not trust your judgment in hiring a new CEO, much less finding a candidate as qualified as Jackie. We have lost all confidence in the majority of this board's members' ability to allow the interim management to work through a climate change, because as a group, you have proven your inability to stay in your proper role and present a united front in a tough situation. We want to see a library board that works together and a board that knows its role. The library is a vital institution in our community. It deserves a board which supports the future good of the entire organization, not one responding to the pressures of current societal environments or one working with personal agendas. We will be withholding all support of the Library Foundation and remove the gifts specified in our wills until our confidence is restored. As a first step, we suggest the library board engage in serious self-examination and board training independent of the actions now taking place within the library system. This process needs to be conducted by a reputable entity with proper expertise and the results shared with the Library Foundation Board and the appointing authorities. This letter will also be shared with each appointing authority as meetings can be arranged.
Any other letters?
No, there are no other letters.
All right, we'll move on to item 4, approval of the minutes. And this is for the executive, regular, and special meeting of September 27th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held September 27th, 2021?
So moved.
Is there a second? All right, is there any discussion on the minutes or edits? Seeing none. I'm going to do the roll call. Angie, would you mind doing a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Payne,
Agree. Yes.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
and Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
All right, motion carries. We'll go on to committee reports. Finance Committee, Dr. Payne.
Good evening.
Evening.
I see I have almost the whole agenda here this evening.
Okay, what page are you gonna start on?
We will start on PDF page 21.
Thank
So our first item is the treasurer's report for the month ended September 30th. I'm going over the operating fund on PDF page 21, as I mentioned. And then if you have any questions on the rest of the report, I'll be happy to answer them. On the revenue side, we have actually received 55% of our property taxes so far this year, which is more than we typically do. So we are optimistic that we will receive 100% of our certified levy and hopefully more than that in delinquent taxes. Last year, we received about 47% of our levy by this time last year. So that's pretty good news. In total, our revenue for the year is 26.8 million, and that's about 58% of our projected revenues for the year. On the expenditure side, we've spent about 59% of our revised budget. That's actually exactly in line in terms of a percent of the budget with last year's spending. So this time last year, we had spent 59% of last year's revised budget. This is lower than where we should be typically at this time of the year. Last year is because of the pandemic, but this year, because of reduced hours, the reduced utility spending, also reduced spending in our hourly salary budget for things such as pages, which that's picking up now. We're a little bit lower than where we would be typically, like in 2019, this time last year. So that's all I have in terms of our operating fund. If you guys have any questions on any other pages, I'd be happy to answer them.
Overall, any surprises or major things?
No surprises so far this year. We are on track. I think I did an analysis we have a rating call tomorrow morning, and I did an analysis for them. We are on track to have about 1.7 million in surplus this year. So I think we're in pretty good shape.
Does the board have any additional questions? Yeah, I'm assuming you're asking for motion to approve the report, right?
Yes, please. A motion to approve to
Is there a
submit
motion?
for audit.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Angie, can we have a call the roll, please?
Yes, Ms. Payne. Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
and Mr. Wo.
Approved.
Motion carries. Item B.
All right, item 5B is actually a resolution for the approval of our wide area network provider. And I'll have Shanika come up and just talk briefly about it.
Good evening, members of the board. Good evening. And thank you for your service, for serving on this board. And I want to publicly say thanks to EJ's her last meeting for all the work she's helped me to do with the request for a proposal. So my name is Shanika Hayward, and with me tonight is Peter Polly, who's sitting right over there. He is our manager for system and network infrastructure in our IT department, and we're coming with Resolution 51 for approval for the wide area network provider. Was approved at the Finance Committee meeting on October the 12th for AT&T. AT&T proposal was the most cost effective due to no construction fee. Any questions there? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions or discussion? Is there a motion to approve resolution 51? Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or no? Angie, can we have a call the roll, please?
Yes. Ms. Payne.
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
and Mr. Wo.
Approved.
Thank you.
Resolution carries. We'll move on to 5C.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
For the presentation.
Our next item is actually item 5C, and Deb Lambert will be discussing 5C and 5D.
Thank you, Deb.
Good evening.
5C and
Good evening.
We're gonna be discussing 5C and
5C and 5D. So I'm bringing two action requests to the board this evening. They're both presented to the Finance Committee earlier this month and approved at the Finance Committee. The first one is a resolution to award a purchase order for Reference Solutions Premium Plus databases. It's a $58,000 purchase. It provides an important reference tool to our librarians across the system, as well as our patrons who can access it remotely from home to do business research. And we've had this resource for probably 20 plus years. The price has stayed the same since 2017. So this is a renewal for that service. Any questions?
Okay, is there a motion to approve resolution 52? Or second?
Second.
Discussions or comments? Seeing none, Angie, can we have a call the roll on resolution 52?
Ms. Payne.
approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
Mr. Wo.
Approved.
Thank you.
All right, the resolution carries. We'll move on to resolution 53.
The next resolution is to approve the award for service contract for Collection HQ, which is a service that helps the library perform collection weeding, redistribution, and analysis of the library collection. It's a service that we had prior to the migration from Horizon to Polaris. And after we brought Polaris up, we're now ready to implement Collection HQ. It's used by staff at every one of our branches to work with their collection. In the time that we have not been using it, in the year and a half or so, they have developed a new module for diversity, equity, inclusion that will help analysis of the library collection in terms of DEI as well. So we're asking for that. The subscription period is from November 1st to November 24th for a 3-year period, paid annually.
Any questions on resolution 53? Is there a motion to approve resolution 53?
So moved.
Is second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, Angie, can we have a call the roll, please?
Ms. Payne.
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
and Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
Thank you.
Resolution carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, item 5E.
Item 5E is, item 5E through 5G are all final bond resolutions for the bond issues that we brought before you a couple times now. The Finance Committee did meet and recommend approval of these resolutions as well as the ones you already approved. The first two, 5E and 5F, are for the Glendale and Fort Bend branches. Those did go through the approval process, and the City County Council approved those bond issues for the new amounts. So we are good to go, and this is the final approval process on those. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on these.
Is that only on resolution 54 and 55 or?
Yes, this is resolutions 54 and 55, and then I'll, talk
Any-
about
Any question on those two?
final one.
We have to do those separately, just to make sure we have a clean record. So is there a motion to approve resolution 54?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments on resolution 54? Seeing none, Angie, can we have a call to roll on resolution 54?
Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
Resolution 54 is carried. We'll move on to resolution 55. Is there a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments on resolution 55? Seeing none, Angie, can we have the call roll on that resolution?
Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
Thank you.
Resolution 55 also carries. And EJ, resolution 56.
All right, resolution 56 is also the final bond resolution for the smaller bond issue for 5.575 million. That did go through the City County Council and got full approval there as well. This is for the opening day collection for the Fort Bend branch for $1 million for bilingual children's computers for all of our branches, for the update projects for Pike and Nora, as well as for various facility improvement projects such as carpet replacement, painting, parking lot resurfacing, and those types of items. So this is the final bond approval. We will go to sale mid-November. We are having a bond rating call tomorrow, and then we will receive proceeds in December. Any questions?
Great. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve resolution 56?
So moved.
Or a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or comments on resolution 56? Seeing none from the board, Angie, can we have a call to roll on that resolution?
Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
Thank you.
Resolution carries. Thank you each.
All right, thank you.
Item 6, Diversity Policy Human Resource Committee.
Thank you.
Unless you want to do it now. That's what I was gonna do when. You know what, AJ, you mind coming up for a second? I'm gonna take personal privilege here. This is your last board meeting as a member of the staff, right?
It is.
AJ has tendered her resignation effective November 1st of this year. I just wanted to, on behalf of the board, thank you for your service to this board, to our staff and our library. We want to wish you the best in your new path. And just thank you so much for bringing your awareness to our eyes. Thank you.
All right.
On behalf of me.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you to the board. Thank you to the library staff. I have loved my work here. And I will continue to be an invested member of the community and a patron. And you haven't seen the end of me, but thank you very much for allowing me to work here for the last 4 years.
I was gonna work that in when we had the election of the replacement as far as the treasurer for the board, but Since you just had the whole floor, we might as well just do it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Appreciate your excellence will be missed. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for all of your support. Thank you.
All right, item or number 6, the Diversity Policy Human Resource Committee. Hope?
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me take this off. Really just want to give an update as a follow-up from last month. You'll remember that the library has engaged Ice Miller to proceed with the climate study and assessment process for the library. Former Indiana Supreme Court Justice Myra Selby is heading up the project team. The project due diligence and information gathering has commenced in earnest, and several organizational meetings have already taken place. I don't have much more to report at this time because the engagement just recently started. However, we will be regularly communicating to the board and staff as the project proceeds, and at next month's meeting, we will receive a progress report from the project team.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you. Hope I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
On facilities, item 7, Mr. Curtis could not be here, but he did want me to pass on that there was one item that the committee had planned to take up, but they hadn't met. It was the repairs for the East Washington branch. There was one bid that was slightly higher than the projected amount, but they were hoping to come to come on. Mike, come on. Mike, come on. Mike. I didn't.
Good evening,
Have a
everyone.
seat. I didn't know. Great. Go ahead. Mike. You want to speak on that?
Yes, I do. Item 7A, which is a resolution to award waterproofing repair contract to 3D Professional Contracting. When the East Washington branch was remodeled, we did waterproofing around the perimeter, but we did not at the time install a drainage tile and a sump pit. As the analysis at the time was that it wasn't needed. But in the intervening years, we've learned that it's not able to keep up with some of the rainfall events that we've had. So we contacted and contracted with RC Engineers to develop a plan for to remediate the problem. We had estimated the work to be less than $150,000 and used the invitation to quote method for the work, to seek quotes for the work. The low quote came in at $187,000. So we did send the invitation to quote out to 21 vendors using the list generated from the city's Office of Minority and Women Business Development, as well as to a number of business development contacts. So we did receive the post-quote 72-hour information dealing with XBE utilization on the project from the apparent low quoter. And our purchasing manager has reviewed that. And even though they don't meet our goals, they did a good faith effort, and at 14.5% approved their waiver against our utilization goals. So facility staff asked the library board to award a contract to 3D Professional Contracting to move the project forward.
Do we have any questions from the board? And this is a needed fix, right?
Right.
The board have any questions? No. All right, since TD, you are a member of facilities, is there a motion to approve resolution 57? So moved. Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion or comments on resolution 57? Seeing none, Angie, can we have a call to roll, please?
Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Judge Salinas,
Approved.
and Ms. Tribble.
Approve.
Thank you.
Resolution carries. Thank you so much for updating.
And then we did bring item 7B to the, for your information. It's taking the information with the projects that are coming up that the library board has approved just tonight for the additional bond sales. And it's looking at when we might be able to open up the projects, the Nora branch and the Pike branch. You can really see that there's a lot of things going to be happening in 2023. And you can also see on the left-hand side, the impact of the delay on our Fort Bend and Glendale projects. So, but you can see we've got a lot coming up. I know the collections management team is already saying, holy smokes. There's a lot of excitement happening at that time. So I just wanted to share this with you so you know, get some of the big picture ideas about where we're heading.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
We will move to item 8, the Library Foundation update. Reverend Robinson.
Okay. Thank you so much, President Salinas. Many thanks to all the library staff members who made 2021 Staff Day possible. Library Foundation staff was delighted to attend and grateful for the opportunity to address our library's colleagues. Congratulations to Mike Williams for winning the Helen Norris Award, as well as all library employees who received star awards and or reached year of service milestones. The Library Foundation was pleased to recognize Randy Starks and Nancy Stevenson as the recipients of this year's Beth Tyndall Award. This award is given to library staff members who, like former library employees and foundation supporters, Beth Tyndall, volunteered at or attend foundation event, is an advocate for the foundation and goes above and beyond the foundation, their daily work in library and provides financial support. Randy and Nancy have helped the foundation in many ways by helping produce video content or helping with the book sales, attending our events and being donors for the past 25 years. Congratulations, Randy and Nancy. Congratulations to the Center for Black Literature and Culture on celebrating their 4th anniversary with keynote speaker Aaliyah Bundles and CBLC poet Larry Channery York. The CBLC also unveiled a new interactive website and digital kiosks available. Many of our donors enjoyed supporting the summer reading program. Once the program's evaluation is completed, we will send our donors a letter informing them of the results. We're enclosing this year's letter with the support briefing support. We are grateful to everyone at the library who had a hand in planning and implementing and evaluating the summer reading program. Foundation thanks donors who have made gifts last month, and the following are our top corporate and foundation contributors. If you should have an opportunity to thank these donors, we would be grateful. Clark Quinn, Moses Scott, and Gron, the Mind Trust are just a few of those who shared last month. This month, the Library Foundation is proud to provide more than $258,000 for library programs and initiatives. Examples of major initiatives supported include the Center for Black Literature and Culture, Digital Encyclopedia of Indianapolis, Fall Fest 2021, Slam and Rhymes Challenge 15, and IPS Racial Equity Institute training. President Salinas, that ends my report.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments on the Library Foundation report? Move on to item 9, report from our interim CEO. John, if you could give us an update, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judge. Real quickly before I launch into my report, I do just want to recognize it. If you didn't know, Randy Starks, who received the Beth Tyndall Award, is our cameraman. So if that wasn't clear, I just wanted to make it clear to everyone. So hi, Randy. Thank you. Okay. And now I'll do my report. So usually we bring the board policy updates in October. I communicated to you guys in an email, but just so everyone else has the same context, We're withholding that for now because obviously the climate improvement process will touch on policy, we assume. And so if that process does produce policy changes, it made sense to us to bring them to you all at once for approval instead of piecemeal over time. So those policy changes are not coming to you like normal, but that's the reason, just so we can make sure that we're getting everything all at once. So the bulk of my report is the CEO roadmap. I did want to mention just real quickly, this didn't come to us in time to make it into your packet. But if you remember a few years ago, we partnered with the IUPUI School of Social Work to partner and put social work students at Central Library to provide social services as a pilot program. So they have published their work, the School of Social Work has, in the Journal of Social Work, and we received word on Friday that they're also going to be published in Public Library Quarterly. So they tell us, the social work school folks tell us that work is now becoming a model for collaborations between social work departments and public libraries across the country. So I'll pass this around if you'd like to take a look at it. In a nutshell, the way they describe the work as different from previous work. Other studies have tended to focus on staff perceptions of patron needs of that type. Their study focused on, it was an actual survey of patrons and staff, but patrons as well, which is not something that was common previously. So that's really cool. We feel really honored to have been able to partner with them. That led directly to us being able to employ our own social worker now. So it's a nice moment of recognition for us and for the social work folks. So.
Nice.
So, okay, so that's my little preamble. And now, like I said, the bulk of my report is going to be on this interim CEO roadmap document that I included in your packet, which begins on page 140 of your PDF. So this document, like it says in the summary, is essentially a distillation of everything that I and the other members of the executive committee have kind of been hearing over the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks that we've been doing our listening. And so I wanted to produce this document, number one, so that I could keep track of everything, but also as a bit of an accountability piece to the people I've been out there talking to. And after I share it with you all and get your responses to it, I do plan to send it out to all staff. They have access to it now, of course, the public document, but we're going to call their attention to it specifically. So there's a lot of bullet points in here. I'm not going to step through each one, but I did want to kind of hit the high notes. And then of course, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about it. So at the top, you can see some themes. I'll read those out specifically because I think they're important. The themes that we heard over and over were relationship building. We heard internal customer service and employee support, so cross-departmental work. We heard effective communication with a focus on listening, not just more emails. By communication, people meant we want to feel heard by people, by management. We heard transparency. We heard servant leadership. And we also heard focus on the strategic plan / the shared goal of the organization / basically get us pointed all in the same direction in that way. So those were kind of the overarching themes. And then you can see from there, it gets pretty specific into, actual action items. So for example, right at the top, you see, a group of CEO executive committee action items. First among them is listening. So we've been doing these things. We've had some ongoing town halls, all staff town halls where anyone can ask any question. EJ and Deb have participated in those and have fielded some questions themselves. We've been having office hours in the branches. We've been, by we, I mean EC. We've been attending staff meetings and those kinds of things. And I'll just read a couple more in this section because this is obviously a key section. One of the things we heard most clearly was that folks want the relationship and the communication between admin and the union to improve. Loud and clear, heard it over and over and over. So we're committed to that. I know Tisha, as the HR interim director, is also committed to that. We've been working with Michael to set up conversations and open lines of communication. I know I can speak for Tisha when I say we are committed to improving that relationship and helping, having the union take a bigger, you know, an ownership stake in some of the decisions that we make, because that's important. And from there, it's a lot of things that basically are variations on that theme: communication, openness, transparency, teamwork, collaboration, and so on. So like I said, I know there's a lot of bullet points here, and you know, I won't go into every single one, but I'm happy to talk further about any specific item or anything in general that you might like to know about.
Sounds very positive, John.
It's a first step, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
well aware we've got a lot more work to do,
Yeah.
a lot of things we need to get going on, but we're taking steps.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
Yes, just quick. From your work and from your conversations and, you know, was there anything that really just jumped out at you, or maybe something that you didn't, you know, just, you know, you learned from this experience? Or I know you talked about the union and
Sure.
admin relationship, but anything else that might have?
Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, there were no big shockers. You know, before this interim CEO role, I was the chief public services officer for about 5 years.
Oh,
So it wasn't anything I hadn't heard in any other conversations, but to go to, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 branch staff meetings per week and hear, you know, singing the same tune. These are different people in different geographic locations who all had the same things on their mind. It was a kind of a reinforcing moment that staff feel this very strongly, that they want to be listened to, they want communication to be better, and they want collaboration to occur.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, anything? You good?
No,
All right. Are we gonna go over resolution 58?
You'll get to that ultimately.
Okay,
That's the conclusion of my.
yeah, okay.
The travel resolution?
Yes.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in the travel resolution. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
we're still, I didn't know if you wanted
No, I
to.
apologize.
Okay,
I forgot about that.
that's still under your domain there.
Absolutely.
All right, is there a motion to, or is there any questions on resolution 58 as far as the travel resolution? Is there a motion to approve resolution 58? Is
So moved.
there a second?
Second.
All right, and like I said, or like I asked, there's nothing on standard, everything's standard on that one.
Sure.
All right, can we have a call to roll, Angie?
Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Joe Salinas,
Approved.
and Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
Thank you.
Resolution 58 is carried. We move on to item 11, which is new business, election of the board treasurer. As EJ is going to leave us, and as far on and that role as well. The chief, she is the treasurer and the chief financial officer for the library, recently tendered her resignation effective November 1st. As a result, there'll be a vacancy as far as the office of the treasurer for the board that needs to be filled for the remainder of the current term of the office of treasurer, beginning November 2nd of this year, ending December 31st of this year. Pursuant to our bylaws, the election of officers is to be accomplished by nomination and roll call. We would like to proceed with fulfilling that vacancy at this time. Is there a nomination for the office of treasurer?
Yes. Mr. President, I would like to nominate Carolyn Adams to the position of treasurer to fill the vacancy in the treasurer position effective November 2nd, 2021, and ending December 31st, 2021.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, any discussion on the matter? Seeing none. No further nomination. Hang on. Yes, Carolyn Adams has been nominated to fill the position of treasurer. There are no further nominations. All right, can we have a call to roll on that?
Yes. Ms. Payne,
Approved.
Reverend Robinson,
Approved.
Joe Salinas,
Approved?
Ms. Tribble.
Approved.
The resolution carries. We have a new board treasurer. Thank you. All right, we'll move on. Yay. We'll move on to item 12. This time is made available for discussion items not on the agenda, which are of interest to the board members and the opportunities given to them to suggest on items that could be included for future board meetings. Does any board member wish to comment or make any suggestions? Seeing none. Our next meeting is November 22nd, 6:30. I now call for the adjournment of our meeting.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Ah,
Yeah, everyone, please be safe.
Okay, thank you.
I still need to sign that stuff.